everybody! Welcome to our channel, Fun and Friends. I am Adeline.
I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Jasmine.
And welcome to our channel.
Welcome.
I've had caffeine and now I feel really hyper. Oh, and this is Cuddles. The red panda.
Yeah.
We asked you guys a while ago what his name should be. And he kind of made a disappearance for a little bit and then now has reappeared. I think he was hibernating.
Mm-hmm.
So he's back.
Yep. Cuddles.
Cuddles the red panda. All right, on to chapter 16 after a quick recap done by the Jazzy Pants.
So last chapter they had another test of finding out what was good and evil versus through actions or feelings, and all the princesses and some of the villainesses got turned into identical looking princesses in glass caskets.
Sophie's like, I'm obese.
Mm-hmm.
She got some wide hips apparently in the transformation.
She got a badonkadonk.
Yep. Anyway, and Ted Rose felt a tug towards a princess for his first time, and that happened to be Agatha in transformation, so he doesn't know. And during the commotion of her like shoving him away and falling or whatever, she snuck into a different coffin. Well, the person who laid down in her coffin that he ended up kissing was Beatrix. So...
And he's like, oh, hell no.
So maybe he'll wonder if she was really the one he felt it with, or maybe he'll... Who knows? But anyway, the worst factor of that is Sophie saw Agatha switch caskets. And so she knows that Ted Rose went to Agatha's casket. So we'll see how things go.
Not good.
Not good.
Chapter 16, Cupid Goes Rogue. Shielding herself from the morning sun, Agatha accosted Hester in the Nevers lunch line. Where's Sophie? Won't come out of her room. Missed all of our Oh, wait, why am I using Sophie's voice? Wouldn't come out of her room. Missed all our classes, Hester said, as a wolf dumped mystery meat onto her pail. Apparently, sharing a coffin with Hort robs you of your will to live. When Agatha made it to the puddled halfway bridge... Hi, honey. When Agatha made it to the puddled halfway bridge, her reflection was waiting with her with more glum and not than last time. I need to see Sophie, she said, avoiding eye contact with herself. That's the second time he's looked at you that way. Huh? Second time who looked at me? Ted Rose. Well, Sophie won't listen to me. Well, maybe Sophie isn't Ted Rose's true love then. She has to be, Agatha said, suddenly worried. It can't be someone else's. That's how we are getting back home. Who else could it be? Beatrix, Raina, Millicent? You. Agatha looked up. Her reflection smiled hideously. Agatha's eyes veered back to the wet clumps. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. First off, love is something storybooks invented to keep girls busy. Second, I hate Ted Rose. Third, he thinks I'm an evil witch, which, given my recent behavior, might be true. Now let me through. Her reflection stopped smiling. You think we're a witch? Agatha glowered at herself. We're making our friend win her true love so we can take her away from him. Her reflection instantly turned uglier. Definitely evil, it said, and vanished. The door to 66 was unlocked. Agatha found Sophie curled under her scorched, tattered covers. I saw it, Sophie hissed. I saw him pick you. Here I was, worried about Beatrix, when you're a double-crossing, backstabbing fink. Look, I don't know why Ted Rose keeps choosing me, Agatha said, squeezing rain from her hair. Sophie's eyes rolled into her. I want him to choose you, you fool, Agatha yelled. I want us to go home. Sophie searched her face for a long moment. With a sigh, she turned to the window. You don't know what it's like. I smell him everywhere. He's in my nose, Agatha. They've given him his own room until the stench goes away. But who's to say where skunk ends and Hort begins? Shuddering, Sophie turned back. I did everything you said, Aggie. I focused on all the things I love about Ted Rose. His skin, his eyes, his cheekbones. Sophie, that's looks. Ted Rose wouldn't feel a connection to you if you like him because he's handsome. How is that different from every other girl? Sophie frowned. I didn't want to think about his crown or his fortune, that's shallow. Think about who he is, his personality, his values, what he's like deep down. Excuse me, I know how to make a boy love me, Sophie huffed, shooing her out. Just stop ruining things and let me do things my way. Apparently, Sophie's way was to humiliate herself as much as possible. During lunch the next day, she sidled up with Tedros in the Evers line, only to have boys crowd her, chomping blue mint leaves. Then she tried to get the prince alone in Surviving Fairy Tales, but Beatrix stuck to him like glue, taking every opportunity to remind him that he picked her coffin. Tedros, can I talk to you? Sophie blurted finally. Why would he talk to you? Beatrix said. Because we're friends, you buzzing gnat. Friends? Tedros flared. I've seen how you treat your friends. Use them, betray them, call them fat, call them liars. Appreciate the offer. I'll pass.
Oh.
Ooh.
Attacking, betraying, lying. Sounds like one of our nevers is using her rules, Yerba beamed. Sophie was so despondent she ate a piece of Dot's chocolate. We'll help you. We'll find you a love spell somehow, said Dot. Thanks, Dot. Sophie sobbed, mouthful. This is amusing. Rat droppings make the best fudge.
Ah.
Sophie gagged.
Yeah.
Who'd you call fat, by the way? Dot asked. Things got worse. For a week-long challenge in henchman training and animal communication, students of both schools had to tote assigned creature sidekicks everywhere they went. At first, both schools exploded into chaos with trolls tossing nevers out windows, stampeding satyrs, stealing lunch baskets, baby dragons setting desks on fire, and animals christening the good halls with mountains of dung.
I want a baby dragon.
Is that your animal sidekick?
Yes.
It's tradition to attempt at school unity, Professor Dovey said to the Evers, clothespin on her nose. However, misguided and poorly organized. Castor scowled at Nevers, flitting about the belfry under siege by their henchmen. Once you get your heads out of your behinds, you'll realize who's master. And indeed, after 3 days, Hester had her baby ogre potty trained and spitballing Evers at lunch. Tedros had his wolfhound swaggering behind him. Annadale's python befriended her rats, and Beatrix's fluffy white bunny inspired such love she named it Teddy. Tedros kicked in every time he saw it.
Low
How kind he is. Apparently guys in the Everworld don't have to be nice. Just the girls do? Is that how this works?
Apparently.
Even Agatha managed to teach her plucky ostrich how to steal candy without teachers noticing. Sophie, however, found herself with a chubby cupid named Grim, with bushy black hair, pug nose, pink wings, and eyes that change colors depending on his moods. She knew his name was Grim because he wrote it all over room 66 in her favorite lipstick on the first day. On day 2, he found Agatha for the first time at lunch, and his eyes went from green to red. Then on day 3, while Yerba taught uses of wells, he started shooting arrows at Agatha, who leapt behind the forest well just in time. Call that thing off, Tedros yelled as he deflected the Grim's arrows into a well with his training sword. Grim, she's my friend, Sophie shouted. Grim guiltily put his arrows away. On day 4, he spent all of Sophie's classes gritting his teeth in a corner and clawing at the walls. Lady Lesso gave him a curious stare. You know, by looking at him, you'd think. She gazed at Sophie, then brushed the thought away. Never mind. Just give him a little milk and he'll be more amenable. The milk worked. On day 6, Grim started shooting Agatha again. Sophie tried everything she could to pacify him. She sang him lullabies, gave him Dot's best fudge, even let him have her bed while she took the floor, but this time nothing would stop him. What should I do? Sophie cried to Lady Lesso after class. Some henchmen go rogue, Lady Lesso sighed. It's a hazard of villainy. But usually it's because what? Oh, I'm sure he'll calm down. They always do. On day 7, Grim started flying over Agatha during lunch, evading the gasps of students and wolves until Hester's demon finally subdued him. Agatha glared at Sophie from behind a tree. Maybe remind him of someone, Sophie whimpered. But even Hester's demon couldn't control Grim for long, and the next day his arrows came tipped with fire. After one of these singed her ear, Agatha finally had enough. Remembering Yerba's last lesson, she lured the rogue cupid into the blue forest during lunch and hid in the deep stone well. Then Grim Giddy dove down the dark shaft to find her. She clubbed him with her clump and knocked him out cold. I thought he killed you, Sophie wept after they silted up the well with a boulder. I can take care of myself, Agatha said. Look, the ball is less than 2 months away, and things with Tedros are getting worse. We have to try a new... He's my prince, Sophie stiffened, and I'll handle him myself. Agatha didn't bother argue. When Sophie was ready, she'd listen. While both schools went off with Castor and Uma to free their henchmen back at the Blue Forest, Sophie stole away to the Library of Vice. It took all of her will not to run out the moment she came in. Perched atop Vice's top floor, the Library of Vice was like a normal library, only after a flood, fire, and tornado had swept through. Its rusty iron bookshelves were skewered with odd angles, with thousands of fallen books all over the floor. The walls were furry green with mold, and brown carpet was moist and sticky, and the room smelled like a mix of smoke and sour milk. Behind a desk in the corner was a gelatinous toad, puffing a cigar and stamping books one after the other, tossing them to the floor. Subject of interest, he burped. Love spells, Sophie said, trying not to breathe. The toad nodded to a dank shelf in the corner. There were only 3 books left on it. Thorns, Not Roses, Why Love is a Curse, by Baron Drackle. A Never's Guide to True Love, by Dr. Walter Batatoni. Foolproof Love Spells and Potions, by Glinda Gooch.
Was that supposed to be a play on Glinda Goodwitch, since she didn't get her love?
No. Sophie threw open the 3rd and ran down the list of spells until she found spell 53, the True Love Heart Hex. She ripped out a page and fled before she fainted from the stench. Dot, Hester, and Annabelle hunched over it at lunch. Once a boy is under the spell, he will instantly fall in love with you and do whatever you ask, Annabelle read. Works particularly well with inciting proposals of marriage and invitations to balls. All you have to do is mix the prescribed potion into a bullet and shoot it into your true love's heart, Sophie read excitedly. It won't work, Hester crabbed. You're just mad because I found it. Hester snatched a heap of letters from her bag. Dear Hester, I don't know of any love spells that work. Dear Hester, love spells are notoriously dodgy. Dear Hester, love spells are dangerous. Use a bad spell and you can warp someone permanently. It's foolproof, Dot said. Says who? Glinda Gooch? I say it's worth a try. It means we don't have to talk about balls and kisses anymore, Annabelle said, red eyes studying the recipe. Bat heart, lodestones, cat bone. These are all standard ingredients. Oh, we need a drop of Tedros' scent. How are we going to get that? Dot said. If a never even gets close to an ever, the wolves are on us. We need an ever to do it. Agatha plopped down in a heap of pink. What did I miss? Sophie only got 5 words out. No spells, no hexes, no tricks. Agatha scolded. It has to be true love. But look! Sophie held up a page of the painting of a prince and princess kissing at a ball. The caption, only authentic substitute for true love. Agatha crumpled the page and dumped it into Sophie's pail. I don't want to hear about it again. Sophie spent the rest of lunch picking at her loaf of cheese. 2 days later, Hester felt a jab in the middle of the night. She started to see Sophie standing over her bed, sniffing a blue tie with a gold tea. Smells like heaven. I'm sure there's enough here. For a moment, Hester looked confused. Then her cheeks swelled, ready to detonate. What about a villain's choir? Sophie said. I think that's my second proposal as captain. Hester stayed up all night mixing ingredients, using her mother's old crockery. She blended them into a frothy pink potion, distilled the love potion into a shimmering glass, and poured the glass into a heart-shaped bullet over the fireplace. Just hope he doesn't die, Hester growled, handing it over. Sophie practiced her aim for 2 days before she knew she was ready. She waited until surviving fairy tales when Yerba and the group were climbing the trees to study forest fauna. When Tedros reached for a blue horn branch, she saw her chance and drew the bullet into her slingshot. Because bullets go in slingshots.
Mm-hmm.
You're mine, Sophie whispered. The pink heart shot off the sling and flew straight for the silver swan on Tedros' heart, only to turn crimson, ricochet off him like rubber, and smack into her with a violent alien scream. The whole group spun in shock. Sophie's black robes were splashed in giant bloody letter F. For failing to abide by the rules, Yerba glowered from a tree. No spells until after the unlocking. Beatrix picked the broken heart bullet up off the ground. A love spell? You tried a love spell on Tedros? The class burst into howls. Sophie turned to Tedros, who couldn't have looked more enraged. Next to him, Agatha had the same expression. Sophie covered her face and fled, sobs echoing through the forest. Every year, a rascal tries something, but even the sorriest rascal knows there's no shortcuts to love, Yerba said. We'll start with proper spells next week, I assure you, but from now on, to the ferns. How can we tell if a fern is actually a never in disguise? Agatha didn't follow the group to the fern field. Slashed against the oak, she gazed at the heart-shaped pieces in the grass, just as shattered as her dreams of home. Hester came back from supper to find that Sophie sprawled on her bed in a puddle of tears. She fell asleep. Wake up.
Wakey, wakey, Brady.
Wake up.
Got
Long
too
night,
comfy.
Long night, eh? Wake up.
We're still recording, you know.
I know.
Okay.
Do you want me to pause it?
No, because I will sleep.
She's listening, half asleep.
Okay, then you need to keep your eyes open.
Easy for you to say that. You didn't work night shift.
No, I was up all night. Anyway.
Drink more coffee. Tea.
Tea, right there. Go
Tea.
take it.
It's not decaf.
It's not decaf. Get your caffeine. Come on. We're going to take a brief break. Pause. If you really want fish, you can stay and have some fish.
Oh, it's already recording.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, hi! Welcome back.
Just continue reading. We're good.
Okay. Now that
We took a brief intermission.
we needed a search break, apparently. Okay.
We needed solar power.
Yep. Let's see here. Practicing. I gotta go find my spot. I was not ready for this. I was not ready.
Near the bottom.
I'm just gonna go from here. Hester came back from supper to find Sophie sprawled in her bed in a puddle of tears. Sophie looked up, the red F on her clothes even brighter now. It won't come off. I've tried everything. Hester dumped her school bag on the floor. We're practicing our talents in the common room. Feel free to join. She opened the door and paused. I warned you. Sophie jumped at the slam. All night she couldn't sleep, dreading the thought of wearing the F to lunch the next day. Finally, she managed to doze off and woke to find the sun up and her roommates gone to breakfast. Agatha was sitting on the edge of her bed, picking dead leaves out of her pink dress. A wolf saw me this time, but I caught him in the tunnel. I lost him in the tunnel. She glanced up at the gilded mirror on the wall. It looks nice in here. Thank you for bringing it, Sophie rasped. My room is happier without it. Tense silence. I'm sorry, Agatha. Sophie, I'm on your side. We have worked together if we want to get out of here alive. That spell was our only hope, Sophie said softly. Sophie, we can't give up. We have to get home. Sophie stared at the mirror, eyes welling. What happened to me, Aggie? You want to go to the ball without winning your prince. You want to kiss without doing the work. Look, I had to clean plates after supper all week, so I'm reading while I'm doing it. Agatha pulled a book from her dress, Winning Your Prince by Emma Anemone, and started flipping to dog-eared pages. According to this, winning true love is the ultimate challenge. In every fairy tale, it seems like love at first sight, but there's always skill behind it. But I already... Shut up and listen. It comes down to 3 things. 3 things a girl has to do to win her fairy tale prince. First, you need to flaunt your strengths. Second, you need to speak through actions, not words. And third, you need to parade competing suitors. If you just do these 3 things, you will 3 things and do them well, you'll stand a... Sophie raised her hand. What? I can't flaunt anything in this potato sack. Can't act with she-devil in my face, and I have no competing suitors except a boy who smells like a rat. Look at me, Agatha. I have an F on my chest. My hair looks like a boy's. I have bags under my eyes. My lips are dry, and yesterday I found a blackhead on my nose.
Sounds like me right now, currently.
And how are you going to change that? Agatha snapped. Sophie bowed her head. The ugly letter cast shadows on her hands. Tell me what to do, Aggie. I'm listening. Show him who you are, Aggie said, softening. She gazed deep into her friend's eyes. Show him the real Sophie. Sophie saw the faith burning bright in Agatha's smile, then turned to the mirror, and she managed a sly smile of her own, a smile that matched one of the grim little cupid trapped in the deep darkness, waiting patiently to be let out.
Oh.
You forgot about the cupid, didn't you?
I
Yeah.
just didn't know he was going to come back.
Well, I mean, he's down in a well, so...
With a boulder on top.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All right. Well, sorry for that little brief intermission on this chapter, but...
Somebody had a late night.
I worked night shift at the hospital, so I'm tired.
But
So,
anyway,
yeah.
do you think that the cupid's going to come back?
Yes.
Will he escape the boulder? Here's the... Will he push the boulder off, or is someone else going to accidentally take
I
the
think
boulder
someone
off?
else. Someone
Watch it
else
be
will
Ted
take it off.
Rose.
I think it will be Ted Rose.
That'd be kind of funny.
I think it would be.
I don't
irony.
remember. I don't remember what happened.
So is Agatha just so stubborn that she has no idea, and then a Cupid's gonna shoot her?
No,
in the
I think
ass, and then
she
she'll...
knows. I think she knows that Ted Rose may have feelings because I think she's
I know,
feeling
because the
it
mirror,
too. Yeah.
to cross over to the evil. Yeah.
And I think she may start to have feelings for him too, and doesn't want to admit it to herself. So she's like, no,
I don't think
no.
she has feelings for him at this point. It's respect. Like she sees how nice and
But that's
you know,
how it starts.
But the same thing is, but he has picked her a couple times, so she is starting to sense this like, like
oh, no.
this is wrong. I wanted my friend to love this guy
Like, it
because
can't
it makes
be me.
her
It can't be
happy
me.
because I want to make my friend happy.
Mhm.
the goodness is showing through.
Mm-hmm. Just a little.
I like how, but so here's the other interesting thing. When she was crossing over and she said, yeah, I'm going to give her prince just to take her away from him.
Yeah.
Maybe she's going to be like, well, if you can stay here because you have your happy ever after, I can leave, but you can stay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I also feel like Agatha's so self-sacrificing. She'd be like, well, okay, I guess I'll go to school of evil if you found your happiness, Like,
Mhm.
I feel like she'd kind of do either. Just because
She
she'd
can go
do
either way.
anything for Sophie, yeah.
At this point, yeah.
Because Sophie was her only friend back at Galveston.
Mhm.
Though I think she still needs to realize that, like, she has new friends here, like Kiko.
Yeah. And that Sophie was only her friend because she was hoping she'd be the evil match to her yin and yang.
Yeah.
Type of thing, yeah.
I don't know if...
Which was a selfish decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
What were you trying to say?
I forgot.
Okay.
Alright, well, let us know in the comments below what you think is going to happen, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you
Bye,
next time.
Felicia.
Bye.
Bye.